I placed the wedding cake on the dresser. There were 3 items left. I needed to...
Brauchen noch einen Schleier. Ring, den kriegen wir draußen. Schleier.
The contrast between the bride and her reflection was clear. While the bride in front of me buried her face in sadness, her reflection was clearly at the dawn of the happy. If only she knew what was to come.
So, wir müssen... Schleier, Schleier. Das draußen war ein Rabe, keine Eule, ne?
Miss LaRue, would you mind if I borrowed your parasol?
Don't be silly, Murphy. It's a beautiful evening outside.
Didn't you see the lightning?
A parasol's to protect you from the sun, silly. Carry this out in a lightning storm and you might... Actually, go right ahead and take it. You have fun.
Da ist unser Schleier.
The glint in her eye sent a shiver through me. I didn't need to cut that. I didn't...
Okay.
It was a fancy yellow parasol with a bamboo handle and an embroidered cotton canopy.
Genau.
I didn't have time. It was a fancy yellow parasol with a bamboo handle and an embroidered cotton canopy.
Den kriege ich nicht ab.
I couldn't... I'd already been warned about touching the poisonous thorns. I needed to think of something else.
Was war das nochmal, was wir
The
hier
macabre
brauchten?
warning was definitely serving a purpose where it was. I decided to leave it there. I had nothing else to say to the gardener. Cutting the thorns would have released a toxin, and I preferred remaining conscious. I couldn't get the rose while those thorns were there. I needed to think of something else. Nope. I could... I'd already been warned about... I'd already been... Weaving throughout the conservatory was an overgrown mass of intimidating-looking thorns.
Und der Ring. Rosenschleier und der Ring. Der Ring ist draußen bei dem eigentlichen Bräutigam, der sich gegangen lassen hat.
That didn't work.
Ich weiß nicht mehr, was...
It was a small leather... Currently, it was...
Ich weiß nicht, was ich habe mir leider nicht gemerkt, was die Dornen nicht wollen. War das Feuer oder so?
That wasn't going to work. That wasn't going to work.
Ah, schade. Das ist derselbe Song wie von der Band, der so cool war. als Einleitung hier in die Dings rein. Der Lindner. Mach mir die Lindner, Baby. Mach mir die Lindner, Baby.
Now wasn't the time to rearrange the furniture. I didn't need to...
Echt? Der kauft mal. Ich will aber nicht, dass der mein Auto kauft. Ah, ja, I see. I see what I did there. Unser Balanceakt. Unser Balanceakt.
As a child, I'd once watched a traveling circus act calling himself the Great Balancerio amble his way across a high wire with only a parasol to keep him steady. With absolutely zero practice and infinitely more chance of death, it was now my turn to try it. Oh well, here goes.
Bitte kein Blitz einschlagen.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Na toll.
That was a close one. While I may have lost the parasol, I did have one thing on balance.
Er hat überlebt, hä?
I accomplished my stunt without having to wear a leotard.
Flussrohr, was ist das? Also, ja, ich weiß, was
Drain
es
pipe
ist.
had twisted and now pointed straight up to the sky, empty of everything but moss. A piece of rusted drain pipe had detached from the roof. I couldn't do that. Nope. The face reminded me of a man I used to buy milk from. From the neck up, he looked like an Italian nobleman. From the neck down, he'd wear denim dungarees and nothing else. It probably wasn't the same guy.
Nein, natürlich nicht.
As I placed my hands on the trunk, I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Spiders. Dozens of them. I may have been battling supernatural forces of evil, but the forces of evil didn't have 8 legs, fangs, and the ability to jump on me. I needed to clear the spiderwebs away if I was going to get into that trunk.
Da hab ich ein Glück, dass ich dabei was dabei habe. Ja.
Using the feather duster, I began sweeping away the spiders and their webs from a relatively safe distance. Now that it was free of spiders, I opened the trunk. Searching through the trunk, I found blankets, bedding, tablecloths, and tucked up in the corner, a delicate lace veil.
Aha. Hammer.
There was nothing else of interest in the trunk.
Was? Blut? Blut ist aber doof.
Looking through the telescope, all I could see was a blur. I soon realized why. A telescope without a lens wasn't going to be much use.
Hat das keiner.
That didn't work. The globe looked more decorative than functional, like a chihuahua with a bow tie.
Ich mag kein Blum. Aha. So, jetzt haben wir das.
I placed the veil on the dresser. There were 2 items left.
Aber wie? Wir müssen mit dem Hochzeitsplan irgendwas machen. Aber was? weiß nicht. Komm mit dem Tipp hier nicht so richtig klar.
It was a wedding schedule for this evening, but the printed times had been replaced with new times drawn in colorful crayon.
Und zwar das Colorful Crayon. Die Farben haben etwas zu bedeuten. Aber was? Was haben die Farben nur zu bedeuten?
That wasn't going to work. It was a feather duster made out of ragged black ostrich feathers, now covered in the remnants of spider webs. I didn't have time for housework. The fountain had long run dry and the cracked, dusty basin was empty. Terracotta pots dotted the conservatory, each one cracked and crumbling in a different way. I couldn't see anything I could do with the statue. It was an ornately crafted metal statue of a Maharaja prince, with one hand outstretched and the other clasping a scroll case. That didn't work. I needed...
Müssen wir irgendwas in die Hand geben. Vielleicht Wagen heben.
Nope. It was the ornate brooch I... That didn't work. I needed to... It was a manuscript that looked hundreds of years old.
Ja.
I couldn't reach the skeleton from inside the house.
Hier fehlt mir noch irgendein Hinweis. Hier sind doch auch noch Schlüssel drin in den Kamin.
Without a flue, the fireplace seemed entirely decorative, and yet, standing in front of it, I could feel a breeze.
Ich guck mal nochmal nach. Die Blumen. Ja, Fassheber. Haben wir. Haben wir auch abgepumpt. Oh, das ist zweimal dasselbe. Okay, das hätte ich mit hoher Wahrscheinlichkeit nicht nochmal gemacht. Wir haben ja den Rum schon einmal abgepumpt. Aber ich glaube, er hat was gesagt mit Alkohol. Wofür haben wir denn den Alkohol? Ach, das haben wir dem Geist gegeben. Ah. Naja, gut. Das sind die Pausen dazwischen.
I refilled the bottle, but as the rum neared its neck, the flow turned to dribbles. That must have been the last of it. I emptied the rum onto the thorns and waited.
Da wird er ganz schlapp.
There was only one rose left. I needed to be more delicate than ripping it out of the flower bed.
Deswegen war sie mit Messer raus.
Delicately, I cut the stem and picked up the last rose in the house.
So, dann bleibt nur noch der Ring.
I placed the rose in the vase. There was just one item left. I was going to need to head back.
Ja, okay.
The drain pipe had twisted and now pointed straight up to the sky, empty of everything but moss. Nope. Nope. That wasn't going to work. I couldn't do that. Nope.
Abflussrohr.
A piece of rusted drain pipe had detached from the roof. The drain pipe had twisted and now pointed straight up to the sky, empty of everything but moss. I needed to think. Nope.
Moos. Ohne Moos.
That wasn't going to work.
Los.
I needed to think of something else. I knew the toolbox was empty. I couldn't reach the poker from this part of the roof.
Können wir den etwa wieder mitnehmen?
I didn't want to touch the poker again. I may have been hallucinating this entire experience, but some self-administered shock therapy didn't seem appealing. Lighting the fire may have warmed the room, but it couldn't take away the chill I felt standing there. I thought it best. Gazing into the portrait's eyes sent a shudder through me. and I realized it must have been a portrait of Rackham. His eyes looked back, almost as if he were scowling right at me. It was a wedding schedule for this evening. But the printed times had been replaced with new times drawn in colorful crayon.
Aber ich muss nicht mit 3 anfangen, oder?
I began to realize something. In the staircase room, noon was always relative to my position.
Es ist sehr gut eingebaut.
Head still spinning, I passed through the final door of the staircase room with the realization that I'd followed the final steps of a dead man.
Sehr gut. Ich find das wirklich super dezent gemacht, dass mit der Zeit Hinweise kommen. So brauchte ich jetzt nicht nachgucken.
I'd never been in love. Yet seeing the drastic measures the sailor had resorted to, I felt his pain all too viscerally. The happiest day of his life became the day his true love rejected him. It must have broken him. The sailor's skeleton still clasped his wedding ring for Abigail. With some unease, I took the ring, promising the skeleton I'd return it to the woman who loved him. This must have been the skeleton of the sailor. A skeleton, clothed in wedding attire, hung by the neck from a branch of the tree. I placed the ring on the dresser. The 5 wedding items were ready. It was time to start up the phonograph. Abigail, if you can hear me, try to come back to your final happy moment. I began to feel a change in the room. The air not quite so still, the shadows not quite so dark, and the bride not quite so distant. I just hoped I'd made a wise decision.
You cannot be allowed to do this. I will stop you. At any cost, I will stop you. I'm free. You came back.
Please don't try to kill me a third time.
Don't worry, Murphy McAllen. I'm not here to do that.
I think I might have caused all of this, but I can explain everything.
I'm afraid to say I think you might be right, but at least there's a chance we can do something to fix it. If only... Oh no. He's coming.
Who's coming?
Rackham, you need to hide. If we're going to fix this, he can't know where you are. Quickly, out on the balcony.
Abigail, where is he?
Where is who?
Don't play dumb with me, little girl. I know about your little game on the riverboat. I know that you've brought that mortal into the house. Where is he?
You know, I haven't seen him.
I know you're lying to me, Abigail, but it makes no matter. There's nothing any mortal can do to stop my plans. The wedding will take place tonight, and this time, you're going to say I do.
I'll never marry you, Rackham.
I'm afraid you won't have a choice.
I've broken free of your spell before. I can do it again.
I'm not so sure that's true. The love spell will take hold again, and every minute you spend broken out of it drains you more and more from ever breaking out of it again. Soon the spell will take hold of you forever, and then you will marry me. The Bellemore treasure will be mine.
No.
You had your chance, Abigail. You chose that nightmare, and after tonight, you'll never be able to leave it again.
What a creep.
Abigail, is it safe?
Of course not, but we don't have the luxury of waiting. Come with me, Murphy. I have a plan, and there are some things you really need to know.
Teil 3. Die Skelettschlüssel. Ich sag doch die 3 Schlüssel am Kamin. Da waren Schlüssellöcher. CYX, Zyx. Oder Ytzk. Oder Süß.
The Grand Hall. Why are we back here?
I suppose you have some questions for me, Murphy McAllen?
Just a few. This trip to Devil's Rock isn't going anything like I planned.
Achso, ich bin dran. Okay, speichern. Chapter 3.
So, Abigail. May I call you Abigail? Why did you try to kill me? Come to think of it, why did you try to kill me twice? Were you under Rackham's evil spell when you threw me from the balcony and dragged me into the spirit pool?
No, that was me. It took a lot of energy to escape the spell. Those were the only times I've ever managed to do it. But it needed to be done.
So you tried to kill me on purpose?
I wasn't trying to kill you, Murphy. When you came into the house, I knew what you were trying to do. Summoning the ghosts. And in doing that, you'd free Rackham. I was trying to stop you, to save everybody.
I was the threat?
And pulling you into the spirit pool? Once you'd done that damned foolish deed, I knew we needed you in the house to fix it. So I brought you here. I was never trying to kill you.
Oh, I see. I guess we had a slight misunderstanding. What were those faces I saw through the broken glass?
Those are the faces I've seen every minute of every hour of every day for the last 33 years. Those are his punishment. I don't know how he does it, but it's like he can control your dreams and your nightmares. He can manifest images in your mind that don't exist, no matter how much you want to stop them.
Nightmares? So he's the one that the locals have seen wandering the house.
He was the only one who could, but until now, he could never leave the house, only manifest projections of himself beyond the estate.
Like appearing to Dr. Moray as Aloha?
That's right. Rackham was never a Loa, but he knew Moray would fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. And now look what it's led to.
You're free now. You can stop Rackham.
No, Murphy, Rackham's magic is strong. You may have broken the spell for now, but what he said was true. I don't know how long I can hold out before the curse takes hold of me again, but it will happen. I can already hear them laughing.
What are we going to do?
I have a plan, but I need you to carry it out for me. You need to finish what you started, Murphy. You need to find the treasure of Bellemore Manor. Rackham's looking for it too. You'll need to get there first.
What's so important about the treasure?
What do you think the treasure is, Murphy?
$13 million? Unaccounted for and unclaimed?
No, Murphy. The treasure is much more insidious than that. $13 million is just what my brothers spent trying to contain it. Listen carefully. I need you to know something. Do you want to know what the treasure of Bellemore Manor really is? My brothers meant the world to me, and I missed them dearly every time they sailed away into the Caribbean. On one fateful voyage, they'd anchored in a lagoon to replenish supplies. There was a man there, so thin and weak he looked like a skeleton. He beckoned them along the beach, led them into a cave, and showed them an unfathomable pile of gold, coins, goblets, jewelry, the riches of 1,000 looted ships, topped by a wooden coffin. That coffin held a treasure more valuable than the rest put together. The skeletal man saw a shell from the beach in the hand of my eldest brother and offered to make a trade, for he knew that the item within the coffin could not be given away. It could only be bought or traded or inherited. The deal done, my brothers loaded up their ship and set sail for the nearest port. But when the dockhands opened the coffin, they fled and refused to return. Inside was a black stone that seemed to glow green from within. The locals knew a legend of a terrifying pirate captain who wielded such a black stone, able to make any who resisted his demands collapse dead before him. But that had been 2 centuries ago. Surely the pirate captain should have been long dead. My brothers put so much into researching the stone, scouring the Caribbean, conducting scientific experiments, meeting experts of the occult. And it all led to one terrible discovery. The coffin stone was a cursed artifact, able to destroy a person's spirit and steal the remaining years of their life for the stone's possessor. That pirate captain, who had ransacked ships by stealing the life of anyone who dared to oppose him, was now cursed to live out every year he stole, withering and weakening without dying. My brothers sealed the stone in a vault beneath Bellemore Manor. 3 keys were required to open it. My brothers each took one, vowing never to allow the stone to work its evil power. But one person disagreed.
Rackham.
He had seen the stone and knew what it could do. The ship's first officer, Rackham. And now, he'll stop at nothing to get it, murdering my brothers, enslaving me, and killing you.
This isn't quite the treasure I expected to find.
Murphy, the treasure isn't $13 million. All that money went into researching the stone and then sealing it away where no one would find it. This fireplace is the entrance to the vault where it's hidden. You see the keyholes concealed in the mantle? We'll need my brother's keys to open it.
And I guess finding the keys is where I come in? What if we just leave it sealed up? Hide the keys so Rackham can never find it?
He will find it. I don't know how long it will take, but eventually he'll find it. And I won't be able to resist the curse for that long. I need you to find those keys tonight, before the wedding.
How do I even start looking for your brothers?
You need to speak to Madame Planchette. She helped my brothers years ago, and now she might be able to help us too.
Who's Madame Planchette?
An old friend of the family my brothers brought to our house to help them. Some people call her the Parlor Witch.
What will Rackham do if he gets control of the coffin stone?
Rackham fears the judgment of death more than anything. The stone will allow him to return to flesh and blood and remain here in the mortal realm for as long as he keeps taking people's lives.
He'll keep murdering people?
Exactly. And it's easy to know his first targets. Once he has the stone, there's an entire household of lives right here, ready for him to steal, including yours and mine.
He can steal life from ghosts?
The explosion may have interrupted things, but the spirits here still hold the years of life they're owed. They may never be able to use them, but Rackham will.
This house really needs its wiring looked into.
Oh no.
What's wrong?
Er
The
kommt.
spell. It's coming over me again. Listen, as much as it frightens me to say it, I think Rackham might be right. Everything I do is making it harder for me to resist the spell. I don't know if I'll be able to break out of it again. I need you to do this for me, Murphy.
I will, just tell me what to do.
Madame Planchette will be the first step of 3 journeys you'll need to undertake. 1 for each of my brothers, each finished only by reclaiming their key and placing it in this fireplace.
I won't stop until I've done it, Abigail. I will beat Rackham to the treasure.
For all our sakes, I hope you're right.
I was on my own again, and baffled by the situation I'd gotten myself into. The $13 million, the whole reason I traveled to the island and then quit my job, was gone. I had every desire to wait until sunrise and get that taxi back off the island just like I'd planned. Free of magic, free of ghosts, and free of the very real possibility that I'd be joining them. But heck, plans change. And now there was someone I needed to see.